Hello and welcome to the first battle of Week 7 of the Dusket Draft League. This is a battle between two of our top two players who are already confirmed for the playoffs, so I think they're doing a bit more of a joke battle. However, these are still the two top players being Davian and Lant. And so I'm incredibly excited to see what both of them have cooking up. Actually, I have gotten both their teams, and they have some crazy sets. Almost everything is not what you'd expect. So, here, I don't have any other words, I'm just waiting on Davian to join. I am ready. As you see both of them going into the team select, I would like to wish all that celebrate a happy Easter. It is Easter at the time of recording this. It is Easter Monday. So, I'd wish to all that celebrate happy Easter. And prepare for a show. Because I think, if you know, you know, I have a slight feeling we might be getting the return of the Nova Blast Terradescent. If you know, you know. It's incredible set from Davian in the first draft league, the Lant draft league. We are immediately seeing Wild Isle and Terradescent come out in front of the Grimline and Glaciadia. Obviously, all of these Lumions, except for maybe Wild Isle, are incredibly powerful. We see both. Okay, we see Wild Isle be using Sap Plant on the Glaciadia as Glaciadia bitter colds the Terradescent and actually misses the Terradescent. Grimline does go for a Piece of Mind though, which is incredibly strong to this matchup, and Nova Blast Terradescent does pick up a one-hit KO with the critical hit on the Grimuline. Of course, the Glaciadia gets chipped by the Sap Plant coming from this Wild Isle. And we see the Florant coming out now. Florant obviously offering incredible support in the terms of bait, but I have a slight feeling that this won't even be Soul Burst. Yep, what? We see a driving force onto the Florant, sending it out as Frostbite gets put onto the Terradescent. There's no more. Nova Blast Terradescent is no more. Frostbite and Sap Plant are doing actually quite reasonable chip to this Terradescent. Now, what the heck is this gonna what is this Behemoth gonna be? We do see Davian withdraw the Terradescent going into the Himber. And you see Wild Isle Vine Lash going to the Behemoth. Critical hit again! And Swamp is going to be lowering the speed of this Behemoth as Glaciadia slumbers. Behemoth uses Hypnotize on the Wild Isle. It does hit, unfortunately, for Davian. So Wild Isle's going to be forced to swap this turn, or else it's going to have to take a sleep. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Glaciadia withdraws, going back to Lant's side, coming into the Florant, as Wild Sap Plant goes onto the Behemoth, as Behemoth hypnotizes a Himber, and Himber Frost Beams, I'm assuming the Behemoth, yes it does, which does pick up the KO. It is currently a 4-2 lead for Davian. But now the Wild Owl does fall asleep from that Hypnotize. And that might be the same fate of this Himber. If it does not stop this turn, as it also did get hypnotized by that Behemoth before it died as a little dying wish. Wild Isle is fast asleep, though no regeneration. Glacedia is fast asleep, though with regeneration due to that slumber it used 2 turns prior, as Timber Frost Beam goes into the Florant. That is the one. And that picks up the KO onto the Florant. But Himber falls asleep in return. It is now Glacedia against the world. Dear Lord. Davian does withdraw the Himber opting into a Whipple Drift, as I didn't. Oh, went for Vine Lash onto the Glacedia, bringing down its speed as Glacedia does turn fast asleep. How fast is Wild Isle? What the hell? This might be max speed, just max speed, very nimble Wild Isle just to outspeed this Glacedia. And now Whipple Drift on the field, crucially not Wind Summon. But Wild Isle goes to rest as Whipple Drift uses Tribute on the Glacedia. It is now 1-3. Lant might be able to get this 1v4 going as Glacedia uses Frost Breath, lowering the speed of Wild Isle. As Terradescent comes back out. In other news, Route 8 is now experiencing severe thunderstorms. Terrafly is currently acting strangely, but this Frostbitten Terradescent, which I'm going to assume is some sort of wild item, if even with critical hit, it OHKOs Grimuline. Terradescent used Flash! As Wild Isle sap plants Glacedia, as Glacedia bitter colds the Wild Isle. And Terradescent Flash dazes Glacedia, making every move that it clicks just a chance to have. But all of Davian's monsters just getting chipped and chipped and chipped through this Frostbite. It withdraws Terradescent once more, going into Himber. As Glacedia is dazed, it uses Dodge. It is ready to dodge any attacks. Wild Isle driving force, but Glacedia dodges it. Wild Isle is now out of energy again. And the Sap Plant healing up the damage from the Frostbite. But crucially, due to Frostbite ticking after Sap Plant, this Wild Isle will never get true full HP. As Wild Isle waits out for the rest of this turn, Glacedia is dazed. And Glacedia uses Frost Breath, lowering the speed stats of both of the opposing Lumians. Himber, fast asleep still, but Glacedia's health is whittled by the Sap Plant. We're in it for a long one, boys. Wild Isle uses Vine Lash. Swampy, lowering the speed even more. We just need one lucky crit. Glacedia uses Frost Breath. Himber speed fell. Wild Isle speed fell, but Himber wakes up, and Himber uses Quicksand! Himber uses Quicksand. We are getting maximum chip going onto this Glacedia. And I think a Vine Lash might, from this Wild Isle, might do it for this Glacedia. We got maximum chip damage going on. The only thing we're missing is a potential burn, and the Vine Lash from the Wild Isle picks up the KO onto the Glacedia. And this is a game 1 3-0 win for Davian. Never expected to see Wild Isle stall in doubles, but it's working. It's working. Granted, maybe because of this Glacedia set, but it's working. Hey, we don't question it unless it doesn't work. Both of them entering back into battle. Davian, Pronsu, and Somata completely different lead. It's this melee Pronsu. Who will ever know? Somata adorable, bringing down the melee defense of both the opposing Lumians. Gremlin didn't actually get to do anything last game because it just got immediately OHKO'd by crit Nova Blast from the Pterodescent. Glyceria withdraws back to Lant, going to Garlash. Garlash, a new Lumian. We have not seen what's been able to do. We do see Terrifying coming out. And we see that it is not applied frustration Pronsu. We see Jimby. We see the Pronsu go for Brace. And we see the Somata go for Peace of Mind. All that happened this turn was just a bunch of stat drops. Is this Body Crash Pronsu? Aqua Jaws coming from the Garlash. Pronsu uses Battering Ram. Battering Ram onto the Jimby. And Saplant going onto the Somata. Was that a tsunami? I couldn't even tell. I'm too busy laughing. All I know is that it did negligible damage to this Jimby, who has like 2 melee defense or something. Steven withdraws Somata going into Lumello. Lumello, the 1 point that has been carrying it all games. As Garlash Aqua Jaws goes into Pronsu, lowering the melee defense of Pronsu, and the Battering Ram going right back into the Garlash, dealing, again, negligible damage. But most importantly, Lumello is on the field. What Lumello can do, I don't even know. I don't even know what Lumello does. I'm gonna assume that it's some stupid set like gloves or something, but Aqua Jaws goes back into the Pronsu, critical hit, lowering its melee defense even further. That still did absolutely nothing. And Saplant goes under the Lumello, as Lumello, Baneful Bash going into the Garlash, picks up the KO. And Pronsu uses Bane of Pain. See Gremlin coming back out, and now that the Bane of Haste is set up. I'm pretty sure Jimby is the or not Jimby, Lumello is the fastest thing on the field, followed by Jimby. Lumello, Baneful Dash going into Gremlin, dealing a solid 50%. With the sharp edges, as Jimby puts up a Scapegoat. Gremlin, Peace of Mind with the Health Amulet, and both of the stat plants healing Jimby back to full. Breaking news, Jimby is breaking doubles. This Gremlin is also currently a threat due to it being +1 ranged attack. Pronsu lets his guard down to rest it being at red HP, meaning that it won't be able to do much. Baneful Dash going into the Jimby, as Jimby puts up a Scapegoat, but it's too weak to create a Scapegoat! Lumello can now KO this Jimby, while Pronsu can pick up KO onto the Gremlin, but Lumello actually swaps out, going into Somata. Jimby's melee defense falls, Gremlin's melee defense falls, Pronsu swaps out, opting to go into Pterodescent as Jimby uses Tone Barrier. Gremlin Lusterlu going into the Somata, it's not very effective anymore. And Bane of Haste does not run out. Actually, I was about to be a big fat liar. Pterodescent, with its Nova Blast, and its 45 base range attack. Gremlin protects itself. Somada uses Health Gift. Paradescent uses Flash. Jimby became dazed. Jimby is dazed. Jimby used Empathize. Jimby is back to full HP. But the Bane of Haste curse ends. But now, oh no, the Piransu can come back in and either set up back the Bane of Haste, or it can just KO this Jimby with a battering ram. So the Jimby can protect itself with the use of Tone Barrier. The Gremlin can also protect itself with the use of Briar Block. I totally did not forget the name of the move. What are you talking about? The Gremlin opts to use Dark Surge. Dark Surge onto this Paradescent, doing super effective damage, does not pick up a KO, as Piransu uses Brace, and Paradescent... first Jimby is dazed, of course. But Jimby places a Sap Plant underneath the Piransu, and Paradescent uses Flash. Gremlin is now dazed. We're seeing Subseeds stalled from this Jimby. But Jimby's got such low energy. Does it even have enough for Protect? Now Paradescent, of course, still able to go for a Nova Blast. If it swaps out, of course. See Lumello coming in. Jimby is dazed. Jimby used Tone Barrier. Gremlin is dazed. Gremlin uses Dark Surge onto the incoming Lumello. And Piransu uses Bane of Haste. Piransu casts an Ancient Curse. But this Gremlin is at near full HP now. But Jimby is completely out of energy. This Jimby is left so vulnerable. But what can Lant do? Swap in Glaciadia? Wait, did he bring Glaciadia? I forgot. It's been so long. Jimby swaps out. In turn for Glaciadia, I am right, as always. Lumello Baneful Dash, bringing Gremlin back to red HP. But Gremlin's Sharp Edges, bringing Lumello down. And there's a double up into the Gremlin. Gremlin faints. Gremlin faints. Jimby is now forced to swap back in, which is weak. Which does not have enough energy for a Tone Barrier. It is currently 2-3 in favor of Davian, but Jimby is out of energy. Lumello is in the red. And Piransu is Piransu. Piransu's just amazing. Jimby waits out the turn. Lumello goes for a Baneful Bash into the Glaciadia, dealing just under 50% HP. Battering Ram from the Piransu. +1 picks up the KO. The Bane of Haste isn't done. This Jimby can still set up a Scapegoat. Or, no, Jimby can't do anything. It's a Jimby. Davian swaps out and goes into Paradescent. Jimby protects itself. Piransu uses Bane of Haste, reversing the Bane of Haste. But now Piransu's out of energy. Davian, what have you done? Don't worry, I enter this probably specialty goggles Paradescent. Jimby uses Sap Plant, but it fails! What do you mean it failed? Oh, he tried to use it onto the Piransu, which already has a Sap Plant on it, technically, except for the slot is done. There is... Piransu technically still has Sap Plant on it. It's just that there's nothing reverting the Sap Plant. I can't tell if Paradescent used Flash or Nova, but he swaps out into the Lumello. Jimmy hit itself. Paradescent uses Flash, but it failed. What are we even watching at this point? What are we even watching? Davian swaps out the Pterodactyl in favor for the Pronsu. Jimby is dazed. Jimby used Sap Plant. Sap Plant was planted under the opposing Lumello as Lumello uses Poison Barks. Just kill the fucking Jimby! Just kill the Jimby! Pterodactyl swaps back in. Will this Pronsu use Body Crash? Or will it use Bane of Haste? Jimby snaps out of it. Jimby lets his guard down to rest. As Pterodactyl uses Maroon on the Jimby. Jimby expends some of its energy trying to recover as Pronsu uses Bane of Haste. God damn it! I knew we were in for a long one, but I didn't think it would be this long. Maybe Jimby's just too good for the meta. Jimby uses Sap Plant, but misses on the Pronsu as Pronsu uses Brace. Even the game wants this to end, but the players say no. The players do not want the peak to end. Maroon Pterodactyl goes on to the Jimby. Jimby uses Sap Plant and places the Sap Plant under the opposing Pronsu as Pronsu uses Brace, now up to +2 in defenses. Please don't tell me we're going to a game 3. Please do not tell me we're going to a game 3. Boys, we're going to a game 3. Pronsu versus Jimby 1v1. If Jimmy can get the triple protect, but it decides to not even go for it. As Pronsu uses Brace, we're going to a game 3. The players have decided that we're going to a game 3. Pronsu, not at all out of energy, but it calls up the Jimby going for the protect. Jimby uses Tone Barrier, but it fails. As Pronsu uses Bane of Haste, we're going to a game 3. Game 2, Lant wins 1-0. As we go into the... I don't know how much longer I can do this. I'm running out of water for my throat. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's do this again. Lant and Gremlin against the Whippledrip in the Wild Isle. Alright, I've said one too many times. Hello, Willy Billy. I mean, shit, both of Lant's Pokemon Illumians are threatened. But by the nature of this set, or of the nature of this match between the two, I don't think the Whippledrift is a flying move. Gremlin uses Briar Block, his Glacedia. Oh no, it is! It is! What? And the Glide! Oh no! Oh my god. It's gonna be a glide whipple drift sweep. It's gonna be a glide whipple drift sweep. Never mind, he withdraws the whipple drift. In favor for the Paradescent is Gremlin retreats, going and opting for the Land Torch to come on in. Glyceria Frost Breath, lowering the speed of both the Paradescent and the Wild Isle. As Wild Isle uses Driving Force onto the Glyceria, forcing it out into one of Florant or Gremlin. We opt for Florant to come on in. I don't even have commentary anymore. I'm just commenting on the scene and eating my Easter snacks. Land Torch raging coming onto the Wild Isle. Wild Isle Sap Plant going onto the Land Torch. Paradescent Flashing Flea going onto the Land Torch. No more Wildfire, I guess. Wait, that was a tough swap. Florant uses Briar Block, as Whipple Drift uses Tempest onto the Land Torch, and Land Torch uses Send Off. That's actually a cool little animation of the Land Torch dropping the green orb and the Glyceria picking it up. I actually really like that. That's kind of cute. Davian withdraws the Whipple Drift going into the Himber. If Florant uses bait, it is in fact bait. Glyceria Bitter Cold going into the Himber, yeah. I don't even have to make jokes, the comedy is right here. Critical hit on the Wild Owl rest. That's fucked up. Oh god, Timber Quicksand. Okay, wait. Davian might be done for with that crit on the rest. Because Frost Breath picked up the KO. I'm going to be like, peace of mind. And be Mud Spatter. Well, like, once Glyceria is gone, Whipple Drift kind of wins. Oh my god. Nope. Okay, nope, we're A-okay. What 45 range attack does to it, man. Super, please tell me you have Quick Punch. Wait, no, I can check that. For the love of... In better news, Glacedia is now out of commission for another 2-3 turns. Dreamland's gonna Briar Block here, so you have to attempt the Glacedia. And then also Quicksand it. Or you can actually Mud Splatter to lower the Glacedia speed even more, powering up Tempest. I might have also lied. Nope, I didn't lie. I'm just a goat. I'm just a goat. What the fuck? Except you didn't Quicksand, he actually, no, he didn't Mud Splatter, he actually Quicksanded. I think it's theoretically optimal to actually go for the Mud Splatter there. We're selling? Why are we not trying to hit the Grim? Grim has good old Dark Surge to hit you for super effective, and he's at +1, and that's a critical hit, yep. Davian, while having a kind of Fear Wind on, I guess. Not really, actually. Yeah, Himber just rests. Glacedia wakes. Glacedia uses Slumber, for the love of God. Lant might be returning the favor for, Davian, giving him that game too. Yeah, I dropped one of my mini eggs, and I don't know where the heck it went. You're gonna use Luster Loot onto the him. Oh my god. Wait, is that restricted shield? Let me check. That is not restricted shield. That is just incredible bulk. Okay. Yes, Grimmy Line, free me. Lord. Why would you die? Oh, Glacedia wakes up. Alright. Game 2, Lant wins 2-0. Okay, Jesus Christ. Happy Easter. That was, as I said, joke battle. Happy Easter. Have a good one, everyone.